What's up, y'all? I'm Too Natural, and today I'm showing you my method, which I'm gonna make thousands of dollars this upcoming season off of Underdog best ball drafts. Let's get right into it. What's up, guys? So my name's Too Natural, and I make gaming and sports content. I've been doing football content. We're gonna start getting into fantasy football content, best ball content as we get into this upcoming season. I'm super excited to bring that to y'all. So let's talk about today how we're going to win thousands this upcoming NFL season, and this is through Underdog Fantasy's weekly winners draft. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with Best Ball Mania V. That's the big best ball tournament Underdog does, or other season-long best ball formats. So while I'll be maxing out my Best Ball Mania V entries, I might show you guys some players I like soon, some players I'm drafting. I believe there's a lot better value. I believe my ROI is going to be way better in another Underdog Fantasy draft format right now, which is Weekly Winners. So Weekly Winners is a $10 entry season-long Underdog format where the prizes are paid out to the top scorers each week. So you can see here, this is the weekly prize breakdown. Basically, you finish in the top 4,000 and you get $7. And then if you get 101 to 200, 201 to 500 or 101 to 200, you'll pay your money back basically. And then first gets 20,000 and these other ones get that certain amount of money, right? You can look at the price structure more if you want to. Pretty standard half PPR rules with the same roster. So now, where Weekly Winners differs from Best Ball Mania is that we should be optimizing our roster to be the best on one or two specific weeks within the season because there's no season-long prizes. There's only prizes for each week, so we want to optimize for one or two spike weeks, not construct the best season-long roster. So I believe I found several unique resources or edges, or at least unique ways of thinking about things statistically using the books, the traditional betting books to our advantage that will help me create the most optimized teams to hopefully win thousands of dollars on my weekly winners drafts this season. So I'm going to talk about my weekly winners draft as well as some more advanced tips to get you guys that extra edge. These are all kind of more like math, statistics-based methods from my background doing EV, sports betting, stuff like that. So the first principle of my strategy is that, and there's going to be a mock draft at the end of here. As you can see, we're in the lobby for that. When I'm done talking about my principles, I'll skip to when the draft starts and we'll walk you guys through the thought process of each pick, right? It's a lot of stuff. If you're implementing the strategy, I would recommend doing 8-hour drafts instead of 30-second drafts. But I'm pretty familiar, so I may make a couple bad picks here and there, but I can do it in a 30-second just for the sake of the video. So the first principle of my strategy is stacking. This is a pretty basic strategy. I'm sure most of you guys, if you're doing Best Ball Mania, you're already using it, but it's still absolutely essential. And it's what the rest of our strategies are kind of centered around. This is the primary thing. The others are secondaries, ways to make stacking better. So now you guys may not be familiar with the concept of stacking. Essentially what stacking is pairing a quarterback in the receiving options. So what this does is it increases your upside where it's going to be a lot easier. This is the example we're going to use for this video is the Cowboys and the Giants stacks, right? Or wait, the Cowboys stacks. So if you look, and I get CD, right? And then I get Dak. And if CD scores a touchdown, let me look at the rules again. But yeah, passing touchdown is 4, receiving touchdown is 6. So if there's one touchdown caught by CD, I'll get 10 points because I get the points from CD getting the touchdown and the passing touchdown from Dak. So what that does is that's going to increase your upside because weekly winners, we don't get anything for finishing, we barely get anything for finishing 4,000th. I think there's 150,000 teams or something in this tournament. We want to be higher. It doesn't matter if we get 0 points because, again, it's not season long. We don't need a floor. We're aiming for the highest upside possible to get those first place, second place, third place prizes where those will really pay off your whole season, basically, right? So we want to stack upside here because you're basically getting double the passing yard points, double the receiving yard points if you use a stacked lineup. Now on to the second principle. So when we stack, we want to stack both sides of a matchup to get the maximum upside potential. So we need an opponent, somebody on the Cowboys schedule. So this is another resource. Obviously, it's pretty simple. We're using ESPN scheduling. We just take a look at the Cowboys schedule. So, but there's 16 matchups, 17 matchups. No, there's a bye. 16 matchups this season. How do we pick which one to choose? There's a lot, right? So my logic for this is above anything else, I'm looking for divisional matchups. So my logic for this is the teams play each other twice. Let's say I pick the Browns, right, week 1 matchup, and I try to stack Dallas with the Browns stack. So that's going to give me one chance out of 17, basically, to have the best week possible, which is fine. That's what we're aiming for. However, the divisional matchups, if I pick the Giants, for example, we play the Giants week 4, and we play the Giants week 13 for the Cowboys. So what that's going to do is it's going to give me double the weeks I can win. So you're basically getting double the value out of your lineup. Even if it's not predicted to be the highest scoring game, it's better to have double the chances, in my opinion. One of the games could be super defensive, where you would normally lose, and then bam, there's another week where the same game is a shootout. The defense figures each other out, the offense just goes crazy, and you get 2 chances instead of 1. So why not take those divisional matchups? Now, I'm kind of like, you can, here, I'll scroll down for that. But basically, now something to watch out for the divisional rivals is like this. The Commanders are in the NFC East. It's the same division as the Cowboys. But we're going to skip out on the Commanders. At least we're not going to prioritize them as much as the Eagles matchup or the Commanders matchup, because they play Week 18, and Week 18 isn't scored for fantasy. So essentially, the Commanders are the same as any other team. You only get one matchup out of 17 where you can win. And because the Commanders are not a super high-scoring offense, they're projected to be like medium, bottom, middle of the pack, you're basically sacrificing. Why would you pick the Commanders when you could stack with, let's say, the Texans? But let's say, sticking on the lines of divisional matchup, we have the Giants. So just for an example, let's say we have this team, right? We draft the receivers. In my mind, stacking is wide receiver QB. It's not a bad idea to take the running backs as well. If it's projected to be high scoring, the running backs obviously will score some points as well. But the correlation in stacking is most powerful when you do QB receivers. I'm not prioritizing running backs as much. So now, those are the first 2 priorities. First off, we want to look for the divisional matchups, because you get double the weeks. Now, let's say the divisional matchups are gone. Let's say someone takes Neighbors before I can get him, right? He's gone. So now I kind of lose the potential to go with the Giants stack now, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to look for high-scoring matchups. So how can we figure out which weeks are likely to be high-scoring? The season hasn't even started, you might be asking, which is a good question. And this is one of the main reasons that I did this video, because I found a great resource that I believe like 95 to 99% of people, even serious players, aren't using. So instead of guessing, I always go to this website. Now, I'll probably put the link down in the description, but this gives you the opening NFL lines for every game in the 2024 NFL season. I like this because I'm of the belief that sportsbook lines are the most accurate future predictor, even for like elections and stuff, because they're driven by real money action. If someone thinks they have an edge, they'll put money on it. So I believe sportsbooks are some of the most accurate predictors for NFL game over-unders. And as you can see, so when I look at this, I can see the over-under on the NFL totals for every week, and the spread as well, how much each team is projected to win, to lose by. This will be useful later, but we can also drive team totals. So let's say, for example, we have the Cardinals at the Bills, which is a 48 team total. You can actually predict how much each team is projected to score. So if we divide this by 2, it's 24, and then Bills are projected to win by 7. So they're projecting the Bills to score 31 points here, and the Cardinals to score 7. Wait. Oh, wait, no, I messed up. That's not how you... Yeah, but they're projected the Bills to win by 3.5. So it'll be 27.5 to 20, I think. That's not really perfect math, but 27.5 to 19? Wait, no, 27.5 to 20.5 is the projected scores of this game. So Bills basically 27, 28 points, Cardinals 20 points. We can use that later, but that's useful for telling us how much each team is going to score. So I like to look for the matchups with the highest potential over-under I can realistically get at ADP. So let's see. I'm just going to pick out matchups I already know, but like, look. So let's just search up Cowboys in this document. Cowboys 43.5 against the Browns, 44.5 against the Saints, 48 against the Ravens, so that's pretty high. So 48 is the highest so far. Lions is 48.5. It's a good matchup. Cowboys Falcons is 48, 47.5, 49. Texans Cowboys is the highest so far. 14.5. So yeah, Texans Cowboys is actually the highest scoring predicted game with a 48.5 line. Wait, no, where's the Texans game? Shoot, lost it. With 49, right? So ideally in a perfect world, we would want to stack first either the Giants or the Eagles with the Cowboys. And if we can't get those, then we would move to the Texans. Obviously, this is all dependent on ADP. People can get drafted before you want them, and then you'll pivot to the next option, which is why it's nice to have first the divisional options and then a list of, after your first pick, then you would have a list of the next couple options you would do that have the highest over-unders that might have players available after your first, second option get taken off the board, right? So then third principle, you're going to have players that are non-stacked, right? So let's say we went with this Texans stack. It's not a super realistic ADP stack, I think, but let's say we have this stack, right? So the Texans and Cowboys play each other in week 11. So what we're going to do is we're going to optimize for players that have the best matchup on that one specific week. We're not picking the best player overall. We're picking the best player at that ADP that's going to perform on that one specific week that has a good matchup, a pass-friendly, scoring-friendly matchup, and they're not going against someone like the Ravens or the 49ers who have a lockdown defense and are going to shut them down, right? Now, this is kind of more subjective. You're using combinations of team totals with what you know about the team and how the game flow matches up. So you actually might not mind taking a big underdog if you can find their number one receiver, because they might be down a lot, passing a lot. And especially for running backs, we're looking for games where their team is favored by a lot, because hopefully they're going to be up, they're going to be running the ball, pounding the clock, trying to get the win, and we're going to get way more points from that than the receivers, right? So now let's just look at this. I'll give examples of that in the mock draft, but basically we want to pick players. So if it's week 11, let's just say, for a running back, the Niners have the biggest spread this week, and then the Dolphins and Eagles. So I would be targeting 49ers, Dolphins, and Eagles running backs. I would give them a solid bit of an edge. Obviously, we're not going to reach like 20, 30 spots, but I'd be giving them, let's say, like a plus 5 to 10 ADP boost over a running back from like the Jaguars, for example, ETN, for example, who's a 4-point underdog, and they might not be running the ball as much. They might get away from the run in the second half. So that really helps. Just looking for players that are going to have a good game on that one specific week outside of your stack. And then finally, if you're torn between two players, you can sync bye weeks with the rest of your team. So the stack I'm going for, Cowboys versus Texans, has bye weeks on weeks 7 and 14. So I look for other players that have weeks 7 and 14 as my last tiebreaker. If I'm really torn between two good players, they both have good matchups. If there's a player that has one on week 7, week 14, I'm going to take them, because basically that reduces the amount of down weeks where our players are on bye to only 1 or 2. We want to have our full team available for, let's say, 15 weeks and only have 2 weeks when every single member of our team is on bye, because it maximizes, even though we're focusing on 1-2 weeks, if we have crazy performances, especially with stacks, we still have 15 other weeks we could possibly win, right? That we have potential to win. All right, so that's my basic thesis. I think a lot of those things are valuable in weekly winners, and I'm going to get into the mock now. So we'll cut, and we'll start again when the mock starts. All right, so we got this draft started. We have the 7th pick. So right now we're looking at probably JJ or Breece Hall, depending how these next 2 picks go. Yeah, I'll take Amon right here, and then I'll take JJ. This is a good receiver start. It gets us on the right track, I think, for a good stack. We'll see who falls to us here. I like Sun God. I prefer Sun God here. But if JJ doesn't drop, if he picks Sun God, we'll have to take JJ. Hopefully he takes Breece, though. 5 seconds. Alright, he went Sun God. Okay. So we're gonna start off, we're gonna try to put together the Viking stack. I actually don't mind this start, it's super inexpensive. So that lets us basically do our early draft however we want to. And then basically what we're going to try to do is stack it. I know, what is it called? Sun God already went, so we're just going to check the Packers' schedule real quick. Okay, Green Bay Packers. And they play Bears, Lions, or Bears, Lions, Packers. So Sun God already went off the board, so I don't think we can really get that much of the upside of a Lions stack. So for our next pick, we're probably looking for, or not our next pick, but we're probably looking for either. So we're going to highlight the first two ADP options because we don't want to clog up our queue too much. That's kind of screwed me before. But we're looking for either Bears or Packers stack, or potentially both, but I don't think the ADPs line up with Addison there especially. So that's pick 18, pick 31, and pick 42. Yeah, we could probably go Bears here for sure. So for our next pick, we'll take JT if he's there, but let's see. Who has the best? Okay, shoot. So we're going to look now at the weeks they play. So they play the Packers 4 and 17. We're just probably going to pick the best player here. Like, low-key, Marvin Harrison has fallen a really long... Let's just make sure. Marvin Harrison has fallen a really long time here. Usually he's not available. So we'll just take best available there. We don't want to optimize for matchups too much if it's a big... And I feel like it's a decent jump from London to Marvin Harrison. Nothing crazy, but... So the weeks they play the Packers, and the Packers is weeks 4 and 17. And weeks playing the Bears is week 12 and 15. So we have to make sure not to take players with buys on those 2 weeks, but on those 4 weeks, I guess. If we can take DJ Moore at 31, we do like DJ Moore here. And we'll figure it out from there. If we get DJ Moore, we're going to be prioritizing probably a running back, pick 42. And then we want to take Keenan Allen, because we have 55 and 66. Be kind of a reach. We could go Green Bay there, or we could take Keenan Allen if we find DJ Moore. Well, that's going to be a tough one. We'll decide when we get there. Honestly, I'm going to start looking probably at the running backs for pick 42 already, or wide receivers. We could go wide receiver there too. Don't mind that at all. We could go wide receiver or 10 and around 42. So we're going to already start scouting the ADPs of these guys. Now, if we're doing the Bears lineup, Vikings play the Bears weeks 12 and 15. So ETN is off the table. Let's look at week 12 on lines, and then week 15. We're going to look for the biggest favorites and the highest over-unders. Week 12, biggest favorites are Chiefs, Dolphins, Texans. Week 15, biggest favorites are 49ers, 49ers, Cowboys. Okay. I'm just looking at this data a little more. Dolphins, Texans should be high scoring. If we can get a Texans running back there, but I think Mixon goes after there. If we can go Pacheco, though, that would low-key be a good find at 42. Because the Chiefs are 7-point favorites week 12. You should smash there. And then the Chiefs are 3-point favorites in a 46.5-point game. So they're going to be favored by 3 points, and they're projected to go for like 25 points in that game, which is honestly super solid as far as team totals go. So I don't mind taking Pacheco at 42 because he complements the Vikings versus Bears stack that we're going to have built up, hopefully at least. All that's dependent on DJ Moore. If not, we might pivot strategies here. So we're going to see, because there's... Theoretically, he shouldn't go based on ADP, but I could very well see him going here. We should have a backup pick prepped as well. But I'm kind of too lazy to do that. Let's look at Chiefs are projected. Chiefs are projected for like, I don't know. I don't think he'll go here, but we'll see. If not, we might just take Kelsey. Because then we'll also have to pivot weeks. If he gets taken, we'll probably go with the Packers stack instead of the Bears stack. So we might have to pivot weeks. So I'm just not really sure what to look for right now. But once we get this next pick in, we'll have a way better direction on where we want to go. It is, I could consider taking IU because he's fallen really far from ADP. I just think that really we're not trying to maximize season-long value or ADP value, so it's really better to just prioritize this Minnesota-Chicago stack. We're just going to kind of lock in on that and just look at weeks 12 and 15 now and kind of eliminate the Packers stack. If we can get more Packers players, that's cool, but we really want to lock in. It just makes it simpler, especially in a... This is why I like 8 hours for this strategy, because you can really... what is it called? You can optimize more and look at all the options and also maybe diversify, get some variance, because if you're stacking off the first pick like I am a lot of the time, you're going to have pretty crazy variance swings, I would tend to say. So, yeah, we're probably going to forward to the next pick here. Actually, we're going to be evaluating players for this 42nd pick already based on weeks 12 and 15. Lions Colts is a good game. If we could get Pittman in there, he's going to get taken before then, but we're just stocking out our options. Highest over-unders, 47, 47, 47 and a half. We can look at all of these games. Texans is a 46.5 point game, and they're 5.5 point favorites. I actually don't mind. The Texans game is pretty solid, I think. Texans are projected for 26 points, so it's not a bad pick if Pacheco doesn't get taken here. Ravens are projected for 24.5. Texans again have a good game here, so we really like the Texans pick. If the so as long as these two don't get, one of these two doesn't get taken, I do like the Texans pick. The Ravens are also projected for 25 there, and then 25. The Ravens is not a bad pick either. So we'll probably just go with these three, I think. We could go tight end. We could very well go tight end with Kincaid here. Let me see what the Bills are projected for. Do they have a week 12? Bills have a week 12 bye, so they're automatically off the table. Anyways, Pacheco ended up being there, so we'll take Pacheco here. And we're going to add more Bears players since we know we're kind of locked in on that direction now. And we're going to order by ADP. So, Addison and Odunze would be our next couple picks. Oh, wait. First, Keenan Allen. Then we go... Perfect. So we have our vision kind of set up here. We have two tight ends that are like mid-capital picks, so we might supplement with a third tight end later, but I'm not super sure. The thing about the Packers is we would also have to go take Love early, which could get us more QB capital, which is not terrible because we kind of do need that in the loadout right now, but I'm kind of ambivalent how I feel about that. We're probably going to wait on Addison. We're going to see if we can get him at 79 for the extra value here. Because if we can supplement with someone like... If we can get Jaden Reed at 66 here or something, that would be elite. Yeah, I think we are definitely going to total scratch Packers. It's just too hard to get them all with this ADP combination. So we'll just go with the simple 2-stack for this one, I think, and take these guys off our list. So we're taking Keenan here. I don't want him to fall, or I don't want him to get hawked too early. You're going to have to draft people a little bit above their ADP. Like I said, 5 to 10 boosts probably with this strategy. So I don't mind taking Keenan Allen here just to make sure I get him and he's off the board because we don't pick again until 66, and I don't know he'll slide that far. So we're going to start strategizing for 66 because we're not taking Addison there yet. It's too big of a jump in ADP for me to be comfortable. So we're going to, again, look at week 12 and week 15. Lions Colts is a big game. We're drafting on, so we'll start on like 62, I think. Colts is a big game. We could go Monty there. Lions are favored there. And then they're favored by 2 again in another high-scoring game here against the Bills. 50.5, highest over-under of the week. I don't hate that. We probably take Monty there. That's my lean. I'm pretty sure I'll be there. I'm going to take the whole 30 seconds so I can think about my pick more. For next one, let's see. Who would I take? Would I take anyone over? We have Saints. See, Kamara's kind of game script proof though, so we could take him whenever. Seahawks are 3-point favorites in where they favored 24.5 team total. Seahawks are about 24 points. I think we'd take Monty still. I don't really know that there's a running back I would take before Monty, to be honest. Because, like I said, Lions are projected to win, and I do think Monty gets some carries in positive game script. Versus when he's in a more negative game script sharing with Gibbs. We're going to find another alternative just in case, though. Chiefs are favored for a lot of points in this game, I think. Their team total is really high, even though the over-under isn't. So they're just projected 26 against the Panthers, and then 25-ish against the Browns. It's not a bad pick if Monty pick falls through. And he's also by 6, so that would probably push him above any other players that... He's by 6, so that would push him above any other players that we could draft there. Outside of Monty, I guess. And then after that, it's just not big of a ADP difference for me to not just pick Addison, I think. So Worthy went there, which is kind of a bummer. I don't hate the Jane Reed pick here either. Packers are against the Niners, which is a tough matchup, and the Seahawks, but it's a pretty close one. Commanders there. Big dogs in both of their games. We're definitely just going Monty here. If not, I might take Terry, even though it's not what the lines tell us to do, just because it's such a big fall in ADP, and usually I do see Terry going around ADP. So that's not something I hate there, just because we're getting a whole 10 picks of value. There you go, he just went, so we'll take Monty here. So we're really playing around the 6-7 buys here for the Vikings-Bears stack. Like I said, we're just hoping Addison falls to us here at 79. If not, we'll probably take Odunze already, just because we already have basically the full Bears stack, and it's too big of a risk for him to fall because he is a rookie, so he gets drafted earlier sometimes, and he goes at 90. So we're hoping on a double slide though here. If Addison and Odunze both slide, it would be pitch perfect. Please, dude. I'm going to look for some alternatives around this range from 80 to, from 78 to 95-ish ADP. Let's look at who has the best week 12, week 15. So Chargers, Titans. Titans are big dogs in that game. Not a super high over-under, or decently high over-under actually. But the Chargers are... Titans are big dogs in both their games. Could be passing, but they're projected just over 20 points. I'm not a huge fan of them. Compared to the Chargers, who have about an extra 2 points projected every game on them, I think. Running back is also very much on the table here. Or... we could really go QB tight end too. Oh wow, Keenan Allen Wentz. We're gonna have to figure out something. I don't mind going QB or tight end here. Let's look at the Bengals and the Jaguars. Bengals are week 12. Okay, so those two went. Vikings and Patriots. I don't really like the Patriots. They're gonna be losing a lot of the time, and I think Ramondre takes that work. Plus, they're not favored, so it doesn't really make sense to take it back from them. We actually could take. I don't mind taking Aaron Jones here actually because he is a Viking, so it's gonna improve our. Oh my God, he just got taken. Okay. It's really Chargers. Like I said, I don't. Let's look at Cowboys. Cowboys are projected for like 24 in that game, and then like 25. I don't mind taking Ferg here actually. We'll go Ferguson. Yeah, we'll go Ferguson here. Or yeah, we'll go Ferguson. I could have gone McConkey. I think that may be a mistake, but oh wait, I'm dumb. Actually, I probably should have taken DeAndre Swift there. For the Bears stack. I didn't see that. DeAndre Swift's not a player I'm particularly high on, so I quite literally like entirely forgot about him. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so we're gonna start looking for the next pairs. Like I said, I don't mind. Chiefs are in pretty good matchups here. I don't mind the Chiefs there because our bye lines up. Panthers are big dogs in both of those games. But they're playing good offenses. So I actually don't mind taking Deontay here because I think he could get a ton of volume. We really do like... Okay, my pick is coming and we might actually get Odunze, which is huge. Even though it made me mad that Addison and Aaron Jones went just before our pick. But if we can get Odunze, that'd be fantastic. If not, we're gonna go Jameson Williams because the Lions have the highest over under week 12, highest over under week 15, and they're favorites in both games. So that's big, but Odunze fell to us, so we'll take Odunze. So we're only missing Addison really from the stack, so I'm doing a pretty decent job. We want to get Caleb next, hopefully. Alright, so we have 3 picks left up until our pick. It's a pretty easy pick of Caleb here, and then we have 114, where our needs are basically running back, wide receiver. We'll start from Sutton basically, because Curtis Samuel's gonna be on bye anyway. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Singletary, Giants matchup against the Buccaneers, and the Ravens gonna pass on that for sure. The Giants are just too big of underdogs, and I think Tyrone Tracy takes the third down back. Their Jets have bye week 12. Tyjae Spears, Titans are big dogs in both their games. I'm not touching Tyjae Spears there. Cardinals 23, so they're projected 21.5 first week, and then dogs, and then they're favorites against the Patriots, so that's good. But they're still only projected for like 23.5. I think it's better than the other ones, but Packers still projected not that much. And then projected for like 24.5 against the Seahawks. Not terrible. Commanders, dogs. We don't want to take Brian Robinson if the Commanders are just straight dogs because he doesn't get the passing volume. Or at least he shouldn't with Eckler with Eckler in that offense. I'd be very surprised. Seahawks. Seahawks are not bad. They're favored 24.5 points. 24.5 points both games. Not bad at all. I'd take Lockett over Dobbs for sure. And then we can look into Javonte or Blake Corum as well. Broncos 3-point dogs. Rams half-point dogs against the Eagles. Wow. Books do not project the Eagles to be that good this next season. I mean, kind of surprising, but not too surprising. And then Corum is 6.5 point dogs. I'm not going to take Corum when he's a 6.5 point dog as the RB2 in that offense, to be honest. Broncos, 3 point dogs. And then 2.5 point dogs. Not touching Javonte either. So it's going to be Benson or, yeah, I don't mind taking, let's see. I'm actually, this is more running back capital than I usually invest, to be honest. So we'll probably go Lockett here. I don't hate Trey Benson there, but it's not a smash play, and I am sticking still to pretty similar roster construction where we want to prioritize wide receivers really heavy. So our next 2 picks are probably just the tight ends. Now, yeah, because I think we kind of do need both of them still. They're really big parts of their offense, especially Hawkinson when he's healthy. And because we have 2 games, week 12, week 15, where it's later down in the season, I'm hopeful that Hawkinson is recovered. So we're fine taking him 9 picks ahead of ADP. I don't mind that at all. All right, so we have 1 pick left. This is easy pick. We're going Hawkinson here. There's nobody to drop crazy other than like Tua, which we're not taking Tua. We're already going to have 2 QBs here. I actually don't mind taking the 3rd QB, but we're going to take 3 tight ends, so that's going to be pretty full, basically. I don't really see a way Komet goes here. We'll have a couple backups just in case. 138. These 2 are going to be gone for sure. Zeke is going to be gone. Colts. Wow, Komet just went. Okay. Well, I'm glad we took Ferguson then. That really helps us. Let me see if there's any other Bears or Commanders that are really fantasy relevant. I guess we'll keep an eye on the running backs just in case. Oh wait, no, not Commanders, Vikings. And then Ty Chandler's 145 and a 9. I think we just take Ty Chandler here at 138 because he's paired, he's stacked still. Like I said, we don't super prioritize stacked. We could take Brandon Powell at the end, I guess. I don't know. We don't super prioritize stacked running backs, but like if it's pretty close, I'll take them, especially because they have the same bye week as well. We do want to capture that upside there. Seahawks are not huge. Cowboys are decent. Honestly, if we don't take Ty Chandler, we'll take Rico Dowdle. Like, pretty sure there. Wow, Tua's still up. If both Chandler and Dowdle, I'd actually consider taking a shot at Tua. Like a 27, 28 pick discount on that is kind of crazy. I think Tua's pretty good for this upcoming season too. Sure, he has no rushing upside, but... Alright, so we got 2 picks left here. I actually do think we probably take Tua or Herbert here. Maybe not Herbert. But if Tua falls here, I have to take Tua. He's just too good of... I'm getting a 40 pick discount, and Caleb and... Okay, well, he just went. So, we can go Jalen. I actually do like Jalen right here, because the Dolphins are 6.5 point favorites the first week. And then they're against the Texans. We could go Herbert here. What are the Chargers projected for? We could go Herbert, but I like Jalen right here better because his bye week 6 lines up well. So I think we'll take that. Okay, so we have our next pickup right now. I'm actually still undecided. Jets are week 12. We're leaning towards Gibson right now. I'll explain the logic behind that in a sec. Panthers, huge dogs. Yeah, huge dogs there. Giants and Broncos. Yeah, I think we're going Gibson here. I don't feel great about that pick. The reason I'm taking that pick is because I couldn't really find better options. I need more running back depth. And the Patriots are just so big underdogs, at least against the Dolphins. and against the Cardinals in what are somewhat decent offenses there, where I hope the Patriots would at least score like 20 points. And the defenses are not elite, so I'm hoping Gibson is the passing down back there. I'm just hoping that Drake May checks down a lot when they're trying to catch up, 3 minute, 2 minute drill, whatever. Um, I'm just hoping Gibson takes passing volume there. It's not really it's kind of like a counter meta play, like the counter play to what I'm mainly proposing, which is bet on teams with high implied team totals, which for the most part is the favorites. But yeah, let's see. Our next pick is 175, so that's probably around the range where we start taking these Bears running backs. Yeah, so we're gonna go Eli Mitchell here. I've been finding myself drafting a lot of Eli Mitchell here. As I said, that may be a flaw of my draft process, but the lines for the Niners are just favorites all the time in relatively high-scoring games. So, like anything above 46, I think is a somewhat high-scoring game. So, and the Niners are 6.5-point favorites week 15, 2.5-point favorites week 12. So I do think Eli Mitchell will get involved and get some carries in a blowout. And they should be running the ball a lot because they're up if Eli Mitchell's getting in, hopefully. That's a thesis behind the Eli Mitchell pick. The last two picks, these two picks are not the strongest, to be honest, but, that's who I thought the pick was. I don't really know. So we'll probably take running back here again. One of the Bears running backs, Herbert or Roshan. Are the Bears favored in these? The Bears are favored in both the games against the Vikings, so we're gonna go Herbert because I do see Herbert getting the better. Like when the Bears are winning, I expect Herbert to get the volume, and I expect Roshan to be more of like a pass catching back, secondary back. So I am like if you can and you end up with this again, like I would probably take Roshan in the same scenario, just to like mix up. I don't have a strong leaning between the two. I do think Roshan has more overall season long upside. And then we have two picks left. We're gonna go McCarthy for sure with the next pick. Has to be McCarthy, and Roshan is gonna be gone by then. So we're probably just gonna go Brandon Powell because we need another wide receiver, and he makes more sense than drafting a random wide receiver, in my opinion, especially at this stage. He is the wide receiver 3 in Minnesota, and that'll add to our stack. So I just have to hope, because I didn't realize JJ actually went this early. Like I have to hope JJ doesn't come off the board. But QBs have been running really slow, so we'll see. Like the guys in front of me, the only one in front of me with only one QB left is this guy in Lucia. So he should probably take someone else, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, if we look at these other teams, they're not really trying to stack too hard. This guy's a good stack going. So yeah, honestly, I'll probably cut there because we're just taking McCarthy and then Powell, and that's wrapping the draft. So if we show the conclusion, we're gonna have Caleb, McCarthy, and then Pacheco, Monty, Chandler, Jalen Wright, Gibson, Mitchell, Herbert, JJ, Marvin Harrison, DJ Moore, Allen. So basically the whole Chicago stack outside of Komet. And then we have Lockett here, Fergie, and Hawkinson. So that's kind of my thesis, I guess, for drafting weekly winners. And I just think using the lines and stuff gets you more Vegas accurate data um, on these players. Like, it's more statistic quantifiable data because I think Vegas knows better than I do what each matchup is going to do, and it's better to be predictive and hopefully use those predictive models that have been developed by people who put millions of dollars into developing them at the sports books to predict the future events, you know? And I believe by stacking like this, you'll just make a lot of money. I mean, if you base your individual projections off that, I do think you have an edge over the rest of the underdog drafting on weekly winners right now. So that's all. I'll update obviously after the season with how the strategy went, and hopefully you guys tail it. Hopefully you guys make some money as well. See you in the next video. Tune Natty out.